Okay, good morning again, everyone. So I hope that you can hear me now. Again, thank you very much for joining. For all the people who just joined, my name is Raz. I'm the marketing lead and very pleased to have you all here today. We're very excited for today's session. We're going to go through a lot of the wide expanse of tools that ChatFood offers and how you can use them, as well as some marketing strategies and things that are not directly tied to the tools in order to increase your direct order volume by 5 times. I mean, that's even a conservative growth multiple that we've seen when implementing these steps. We've seen some brands and some restaurants take it much, much further than that. So before we actually get into the content, I hope you all received this email yesterday, but we have cause to celebrate 2 milestones. So first of all is collectively, the 5,000 plus restaurants that are using ChatFood have now saved over $10 million worth of commission. So this is money that otherwise would have went to pay commission fees. So again, very, very proud of that. And we look forward to 20 and then 50 and then 100 million. And we hope that we can all help you contribute even more to this collective pool. So the goals for today. So this is going to be quite information heavy. I urge you all to take notes. You will receive a recap at the end, but it does help to take your own notes because you would know your needs and your requirements the best, right? So again, ChatFood is something that is in your control, so you can take and leave as you need. So yes, please take your own notes. First of all, we're going to understand where you are in the journey. So for yourself, you might be at step 3 of this process. You might be at step 1. You might not have launched your restaurant yet, or you might be in the bonus steps that we have at the end. So that's the other thing. Stay tuned to right at the end where we've got some exciting things that we've been working on that we'd like to share with you for bonus steps in order to increase your direct order volume. So we're also going to show you what success looks like. So we've got a great number of examples in this webinar of brands that have implemented this, that we've been studying and working along with them and being very encouraged by their results. So we'll show you what success looks like for them. If they can do it wherever you are, you can definitely do it as well. Again, we're going to go in depth with specific steps. If at any point you want to do something, but you don't understand technically how to enable it in your ChatFood system, at any point, please reach out to your agent. You can also email support@chatfood.io, or you can always visit the intercom, the blue button on our website, and someone will get back to you in 5 minutes. So if you don't understand how to do any of this stuff, please reach out and we'll help you enable it. We've also got a Q&A section. So at the end, I'll take any questions that are asked. So as we go through, feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A section or in the chat, and we'll get through them at the end. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before we get into the actual steps to drive the increased order volume, the first thing we need to do is make sure that we've hit all our basics, right? So we need to set up the system in a way that it then can accept orders and increase your restaurant's growth. So the first one is, of course, connect all the sales channels that you can in order to have as many touch points as possible. So in your dashboard, you'll see a sales channel button on the left. If you go there, you can fill in this form and it will help guide you through. There'll be some tutorials. It'll help guide you through on how to enable these steps. And then someone from our team will go and verify that you've enabled it correctly. Again, if you're struggling, please reach out for help. But because your ChatFood ordering system is a link, it can go much further than this, right? So for example, here we've got website ordering via widget, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Google My Business. But you can also, if you were in our last webinar, enable TikTok, for example. So if you haven't seen our last webinar, go check it out. It's at our blog. So if you just search blog.chatfood.com, or you can visit our website and click blog, you can watch that entire webinar. In that webinar, we spoke with the TikTok small business team on how restaurants use TikTok in order to increase brand awareness and therefore increase order volume. Again, you can enable TikTok as a sales channel. Wherever you can place a link, that's where you can sell. So the other basic that we need to get through is reducing purchase friction, right? So what you might have when you set up is you might include a minimum order basket amount, right? Like sometimes that can be a bit prohibitive if it's too high. So our recommendation is to set that to be half of your average order basket, right? You don't want to turn people away from ordering this time, even if their value is a little bit low, because again, the whole purpose is to drive a relationship and to build a habit, so that customers will order next time from you, hopefully at a higher volume. If you go to the brands using ChatFood that you've ordered from, have a look. If they're successful, you'll see like most of them might not have a minimum order basket value. The other thing that we recommend is to add pictures to every single one of your items, of course. This screenshot here is from our test account, so we're guilty of this. We need to add pictures to all of these test items, and of course, add a bestseller categories. We've seen bestseller categories to be very, very effective. Finally, don't make your delivery fees too prohibitive, right? So again, what we've seen is a good value is set it to 9 dirhams or lower, right? But of course, depending on your restaurant and depending on your needs and your basket size, this is going to change from brand to brand to brand. The spirit behind this is basically just don't make it prohibitive to order from you, yeah? So other parts of the basics are optimizing operations. So one, get your delivery time below 45 minutes, right? So if you're delivering by yourself, this is something that you can manage. If you're working with a partner, make sure that you, in order to decrease the time that the customer waits for their food, one is accept orders in less than 5 minutes. Make sure you're working with a delivery partner that best services the areas that you're interested in. So again, we integrate with a number of partners. Via your dashboard, you can select your partner. So make sure you're working with a partner that best services your areas. Train your staff to manage the orders. There'll be a link in the chat right at the end with a training document. And enable your loyalty program across delivery, pickup, and dining. So this is great to give customers a uniformity of experience, however they order. Again, this is going to speed up your operations in store or pickup or for delivery. And it's also going to reduce the purchase friction of the customer. They don't have to learn a new system in order to order from you, right? Finally, if customers are having issues and they call, please stay alert to your phone so that you, again, build a better relationship with that customer, right? So if the customer knows that you're responsive and they call and you pick up directly, that's a good opportunity to build a rapport with the customer. Finally, the next time the customer orders, they're going to leave that feedback. If they've put in negative feedback, you have access to your customer data with ChatFood orders. So get in touch with the customer, give them a specialized discount. You can even create a specific discount code just for them. And that's really going to make the customer feel special. And again, cement that relationship between you and them. So now onto the first step of this 5-step program in order to increase your direct orders. One is breaking habits and building new ones, right? So the habits that your customers have, again, they're not going to serve you very well. So your customers might be used to ordering from food portals. So you want to help your customer change this habit, and in that way, they help you, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. So what you're trying to do is give them an incentive in order to order from you directly. So you want to encourage sustainable habits with sustainable incentives, right? You don't want to do something crazy. But for example, 25% off on your first direct order is a great sustainable incentive to get a customer to order directly from you the first time, right? Again, you just want to establish that first channel, and then you can use a whole plethora of other tools, retargeting, loyalty programs, etc., in order to keep the customer coming back. So if we do the maths on that 25%, the cost of it is, of course, 25% off the first order only, right? So again, in your ChatFood discount tool, you can enable it only for the first order for new customers. Then the customer is going to see their loyalty program. They're going to become attached via loyalty, and then you can retarget them for free via email reactivation, which I'll talk about a little bit later, or a 7 fill per SMS campaign, right? So it's very effective once you've given that initial discount to keep the customer coming back. And I mean, if we compare it with that same order, were the customer to order from an aggregator, let's take a look at the numbers. So if we compare the cost against the lifetime value of the customer, so lifetime value meaning the amount of revenue that the customer will generate for you across time, let's assume an average basket of 100 dirhams. From an aggregator, you're going to pay that 35 dirhams commission plus, say, a 10 dirhams cost of food. you're going to come up with 45 dirhams cost, right? With your direct platform, you're going to pay the 25 dirhams discount plus the 10 dirhams cost of food plus the 3 dirhams delivery. You're going to come up to 38. So you've got a little bit of a saving. And again, depending on your cost of food and your average sale value, this is going to differ. But what is not going to differ is that across time, that customer is going to pay the acquisition cost back, right? So CAC, cost of customer acquisition. You can see in this example with these values, the customer has paid it back already after the second order. And again, this is going to stretch ad infinitum, right? As long as the customer orders from you, you're going to always pay that 35 plus cost of food. Versus after you've sunk that initial cost in, you can get direct orders from the customer. They formed a relationship with you. They're stuck in because of the loyalty program that you've enabled in the basics, and you've got very cost-effective reactivation tools. So in order to enable this, you can do this via your dashboard, via the marketing section. If you go to discounts, and there's a segmentation there between old customers and new customers. As with everything in this presentation, it's accessible via your dashboard, but if not, if you can't find it, please reach out and we'll help you find it. Don't forget though, like the other costs that you're paying with the aggregator orders is you're not getting access to this customer data. So the customer can order from you 100 times and you're not going to get their information, which is going to help you find new customers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So you've got the first time offer. That's a great way to build a new habit. The second thing that you could do is you can offer exclusive bundles on your direct ordering platform, right? So for an example, Pinza do this very effectively. So they've got these bundles on their ChatFood platform they've got group bundles. So you order, for example, 3 small pizzas for 85 dirhams. If priced correctly, this is still a higher margin than the same order at full price placed by an aggregator. So you just work out against your commission percentage. This builds a habit with the customer for the first time so that next time when they order and they order for themselves, they might be placing an order for an item at a higher margin. And then finally, the cost of food is a lot cheaper than a discount or a commission cost, right? So offering bundles to the customer still seems very attractive, but it costs you much less. This specific group offer, so like you're offering 3 pizzas, exposes your brand to multiple people. So this person, and maybe they're ordering it for themselves, but this person is probably going to be ordering it for a number of people. And then all of those people get exposed to your brand, get exposed to this way of ordering. So that was step number 1. Step number 2 is engage. So it's time to meet your audience where they already are. So what that means is you don't want to be, your customers are already using social media platforms, right? They're already on there for hours and hours a day. You can appear where they're already spending their time and get orders that way. So an example that we like to use is Poke & Co on Instagram. They've got the order food button on their profile, right? As well as their clip in the bio. And this builds a habit where customers know that they can go to the profile when they see a post or when they see an ad, they can go to the profile and press order food, or they can order directly from the ad. The average Instagram user is on Instagram for 53 minutes a day. So you have enough time to reach them, right? So again, this is down to timing your post at the correct moment, yeah? So you can post just before lunch, if you're a lunch concept, or just before dinner, just before breakfast, whatever it is. So you'll have an increased chance of catching your customer when they're already on the platform. If you haven't seen this, if you haven't seen the implementation of the order food button on a story and on the profile, visit at Healthy Bites UAE. It's our test account again, so you can go and see there how it's used and how it's used correctly. What's often underused though, that we've seen from all the brands that have implemented the order food button is the story sticker. So this is super easy to take advantage of. You just snap a photo of food that's coming out of the kitchen or content that you've already created, upload it before the time that you are busiest or before the time that you want to generate orders, and just add the sticker. So we've got tutorials on our blog on how to do this. Again, you will receive a recap with how to actually add the sticker, but it's very easy and it's going to stretch the investment that you put into this content creation, into posting the stories a lot further, because customers can order directly from the post. this is just some of the feedback that we've got about the order food button and sticker. So Nabia from Little Earth is saying that he's invested a lot into building a platform on Instagram, and now it's finally paying dividends because people can order direct, right? And Khalid from Poke & Co is also, he's thinking about converting his followers into paying customers. Pinza did this very effectively by making use of posting story posts before they anticipated a spike in order volume, as well as posting regularly. And using these tools, they increased their direct order volume by 3 times, just from this Instagram order food button and sticker. You can request access to this case study via our blog, and we'll send it right over to you. So another part of engaging is something that we call the viral voucher loop. So this is part of our messenger functionality, our Facebook functionality, where basically you incentivize your customers to tag their friends on a post. Again, this is going to expose your brand to much more people. This is going to help your post engagement, which is going to help your ads. And your customers tag their friends, and automatically they're going to receive a message with the voucher code that you've already created. This leads to 20 times more post engagement. And again, if you want help enabling this or figuring out how to use this, please reach out. Another part of engaging is not losing your customers when they leave your restaurant, right? So contactless dining is going to enforce to your customers that you're available for delivery, for pickup, and it's going to let them know that the loyalty points that they accrue on dine-in is going to work for delivery and for pickup. So if you have a walk-in, customers just walked in, especially now that the weather's getting better and things are easing up a bit, let them know, hey, when you go home, don't look for us on another platform, look for us directly, scan this code, and you're gonna get loyalty points that you can use later. So here's a great example of how Vietnamese foodies are using it. If you haven't tried this already, you can give that QR code a scan, or you can take a photo and try it later. Again, we've got blog articles on this, so you can always go and read that. So here's Wingsters implementation of this, Wingsters UAE. So again, they're letting you know very prominently on the QR code that if you scan an order, you're going to receive 10% cashback on every order, right? So customers dining in, they go, might as well. When I go home, I'll save this, and then I can redeem these points later. So step 3 in this 5 steps to 5x is going to be collecting data to build your own audiences. So we can't understate the value of having access to your customer data, right? And there's a whole plethora of things that you can do with this. We're going to go through a couple right now, but there's a huge amount that you can do with this. So stay tuned. We're going to be creating a lot of content specifically on how to use the customer data. So one, in collecting the data, what we found to be very effective is our voucher claiming system or voucher claiming tool. So this can be part of your clip. So it can be part of that landing page that customers click when they click the link in your bio. Basically, it's going to say, hey, give us your phone number and we're going to send you 25% off X, or whatever the offer is that you would like to enable, right? Again, it's totally up to you. So if you are just starting out or you're just launching a new brand and you don't have a database yet of phone numbers, this is a fantastic way to start that off, right? So again, it's going to establish a line of communication directly between you and the customer. The customer is going to be anticipating this offer that you've promised them. And yeah, it's a great way to get started with building your data. The other thing that you can do is integrating your Facebook pixel into your digital menu. So this is extremely, extremely, extremely important and has a huge effect. So first of all, what is a Facebook pixel? So for those of us that don't know, Facebook pixel is a tiny little transparent images that businesses place on their digital presence, wherever it is over the web, right? So whenever the page loads, it tells Facebook what that page is. So it tells Facebook if this is a view item, if this is a add to cart, if this is a initiate checkout or purchase. Those are events. And this is going to help you build audiences because it ties back to that customer's information, and you can build audiences from that. So when you hear about Facebook tracking you, or when you're receiving ads that are very precisely tuned to what you like. This is what's doing it. It's the pixel. And the great thing with our menus is that you can put your own pixel in your own menu, right? Or whoever is running your ad campaigns directly in your menu. And here you can collect invaluable data. So the thing with e-commerce, or the thing with online stores, is that there's a lot of, it doesn't cost anything to view your menu. So we've seen that up to 70% of your menu views are just views, right? So the customer will view your menu on your profile or wherever they've come to it, and then they'll leave. Imagine in real life, people walking into your restaurant, sitting down, and then getting up and leaving. The other thing is though that they can stop at any of these steps. So for example, the customer can even add items to their cart and then leave. This would never happen in real life. But thankfully, because of the pixel, these customers aren't lost. We can go back to them later. The cost of this is free. Like, you can implement your pixel today. Even if you aren't ready to start spending money on Facebook ads, you can already start collecting data just by putting the pixel there on your menu. So another way in order to collect data is with Clip feedback. So again, part of Clip, the landing page. Akram and Anar here, they've got a great example of soliciting feedback on all the platforms that they're on. So they've got TripAdvisor, they've got Google, they've even got Zomato there. And they solicit feedback on these platforms for 5% off on each bill. This is a great way, and it's a good trade between you and the customer. The customer is going to share their great experience, go through that effort, and you're going to give them a collective discount. So Akram and Anar's is a 5% per review. So you can get up to 25%. These reviews, obviously, you might already understand the value, but they're going to improve your SEO. So they're going to improve where you rank on Google when people search for your brand name, and they're going to improve your ranking on maps as well. So Google Maps, Waze, etc. So that was step number 3. Step number 4 is on re-engaging your customers at the very best time. So what does that mean? It means that when a customer orders from you, they're already within your network, and it costs 4.8 times, it's up to 4.8 times cheaper to reactivate an existing customer in order to get them to order again than to acquire a wholly new customer, right? So once you have access to this data, you can build on it and then re-engage those customers. One way that you can do that is with a feature that we launched called automatic reactivation reminder emails. So basically, these are emails that the customer receives if they haven't ordered again after X days. And again, you're in control. You can decide the parameters of this. So you've got a bunch of settings that you can choose from: 14 days, 21, or 30 days later. And you can send it at the best time. So if you're a lunch concept, send it in the morning. If you're a dinner concept, send it in the later afternoon. This is going to help you stay top of mind. And it's up to you to decide what the content is, what the best time to send is, what the best parameter for the parameter window for reactivation is. Experiment and see the results. Of course, as with everything, you can customize the look and feel. So you can change your logo, add your image, change the copy, add that offer, that 25% offer that we spoke about earlier, or don't add an offer at all. You can just let them know that you've got a new item, or just remind them that you're around. It's totally up to you. You're in control. The other part of re-engaging is retargeting ads. So what are retargeting ads? Retargeting ads are basically, if you go back and remember, the pixel's been collecting all this information on customers, right? So people that just viewed your menu and left, people that viewed your menu and added to cart and left, people that viewed the menu, added to cart, initiated checkout and left, and purchased. Retargeting is going to allow you to target those people who perform certain actions with Facebook ads. So you've collected all this data, you've built these audiences, and then you can say 3 days later, hey, we've got a great offer just for you. We know that the customer is interested because they viewed your menu, and we've seen this have a huge effect on repeat orders and even convincing that customer who viewed but never ordered to go over that hurdle and place the order in the first place. So Facebook ads, they do require skill and experience in order to use effectively. Ads agencies are expensive and they're not focused entirely on restaurants, for example. We offer a cost-effective solution with a team that is very, very specialized in Facebook and Google ads just for restaurants. You can find that again on your dashboard. And for bigger brands or brands that really want to go to the next level, we offer amazing partnerships with marketeers, restaurant marketeers, very, very highly specialized in restaurant marketing. One of them is in the chat here. Dario, if you want to send a message in the chat. So yes, again, if you're interested in this, you can find it via your dashboard. Find a restaurant marketing partner, and yeah, that's the next step. So step number 5 is leveraging the relationships that you've built by this point. So you've gone through these 4 steps. Now you've established a rapport with your customers, and now you can leverage this in order to reach that 5x or even further value. So one is using the data that you've collected correctly. So again, this customer data, we cannot overstate the value of this and the power that this gives you. This is why the aggregators and food portals don't share it with you. They've been relenting a little bit recently, but still, you're not going to get access to the full suite. With ChatFood, obviously, you know this, you get access to names, emails, phone numbers, data on that specific customer, and this is super powerful. That phone number part especially. So SMS campaigns we've been seeing are getting more and more effective. So what separates SMS campaigns from other campaigns is, one, they have a ridiculously high open rate, right? So everyone's gonna open that SMS. So you can be sure that the customer is gonna see you. But what we've seen, you can see from this graph here, is that they increase your direct order volume on a spike around the time that you send it. But not only that, they increase your base order volume, right? So your average daily volume increases after SMSs. So the more you do, the higher and higher that graph's going to go. And finally, they improve your ads performance because, again, customers, this is another touch point for a customer to see you and then react later, right? So if you don't get them now, you'll get them later. So again, this is what I was speaking about earlier. You can see the peaks where the SMSs are sent, but you can see the increase in the basal order volume. Highly, highly, highly effective. We did a case study on this with the acai spot. So again, you can request access to this via our blog. It's how they generated 5,000 plus direct orders via SMS. And because you guys took the time out to be here and learn about this, we're gonna give you an offer, which is basically, if you send an SMS campaign before the end of December, the amount of people that you send it to will match that amount in January. So if you send it to 1,000 people in December, we'll send it to 1,000 in January. But the terms are you have to send it before the end of December and then again before the end of January. We cannot overstate how effective these are. So we highly recommend this campaign type. If you stay to the end, I'll show you how to claim this. So the other part of leveraging is lookalike audiences. So again, back to the pixel, we've spoken about it a bunch. Facebook is everywhere, it seems. Remember, the pixel allows you to build audiences based on customer actions. So depending on what step in the funnel they stopped at or what they did, which buttons they clicked on, which pages they loaded. And then it allows you to create online audiences of whatever step they were. But specifically with this point about lookalikes is you can create audiences of those who purchased from you, right? So people who like your food, who purchased from you, you can group them all together into one big group. These are the people who bought stuff from me. You can retarget those people again to get them to order again and again, but you can also reach people who have never ordered from you, but who are very similar to those who have in many, many other parameters of information that Facebook has. So this is a lookalike. So this new group of people looks alike the group that has already bought from you. So this is a very, very powerful tool at Facebook. And it's going to search your database for myriad parameters and match that with customers elsewhere on Facebook. And we found that this is 3 times more likely to get an order from these customers who have never heard of your brand before than without targeting. So if a customer sees your ad and they're not in a lookalike audience, that's 3 times less likely to convert than whether you've done it through lookalikes. So we're going to do a review and conclude these 5 steps and just run them through again before we get into questions. So I hope that you've all been asking questions and that you have clarity in all this, but stay for the review, because at the end of the review, we've got some bonus steps, some things that we've been working on that we're very excited for, as well as the offer. So step 1, after you've done the basics, after you've enabled all the tools correctly, step 1 is to break bad habits, unsustainable habits, and build new ones that are sustainable for customers and for you and for the restaurant industry as a whole, right? So using first-time offers and exclusive bundles, you're going to entice the customer to order direct, and thereafter the customer is going to pay for themselves versus then if they had to keep ordering via a food portal. Step number 2 is engaging with your audience and meeting them where they already are. So this could be in person, offline, this could be online, on Instagram, on the social media platforms that they're using. Again, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want, wherever you can place the link. Have as many touch points with your audience as possible. Number 3 is collecting data in as many different ways as you can. So 2 options here are, 1, build that voucher claiming system in your clip. If you haven't, please reach out to us, we'll help you. And 2 is embedding that Facebook pixel in your menu, right? Even if you're not ready to run ads, even if you're not ready to run SMS campaigns, if you're not collecting this data, you're just throwing away very useful information that you will use later down the line when you've grown. Number 4 is going to be re-engaging your customers at the best times. So this is going to vary wildly depending on your brand and what your concept is. But we've given you the tools in order to adjust and notice your performance and then readjust as time goes on. So the email reactivation reminders are completely free. Facebook retargeting ads come at a price. Again, we offer Facebook ad service as well as we've got a group of partners who are very, very effective. So yeah, definitely make use of these tools. But that's not all. We have the bonus step, which is converting these customers to direct. So how do we go about doing this? Well, something very exciting is the WhatsApp advanced broadcast, or what we like to call premium messaging. So what you can do is there are tools that allow you to send bulk WhatsApp broadcasts. And again, because you can access to your customer data with ChatFood, you have access to their WhatsApps and you can send these messages as much as you like. I mean, there is a limit of about 500 per day, but what you can do is at the end of every day, you can ask your staff to extract all the phone numbers of all your customers who ordered from a food portal if they're sharing their phone numbers with you, right? So depending on the food portal, some of them don't share anything. Some of them might share the phone numbers with you. Where you can get phone numbers, vouchers, via food portals, wherever it is, take them in and then create a CSV from this. So a CSV is just a type of database file. It's a type of Excel file. And then with this CSV, you can upload this to a WhatsApp Chrome extension. So if you just go on Chrome's web store, or you just go on Google and search WhatsApp Sender plugin, you'll find this. And then send them a message. You just paste in all of the numbers that you've collected. Send them a message. Hey, thank you for ordering us today. We hope you enjoyed it. Next time, order direct, save 25% off. Again, this ties back to our first step, which is breaking bad habits. Check that out. We're very excited about this. The other thing that you can do to convert, again, from food portals to your direct channel is add a QR code and a leaflet in bags that customers are receiving. So Poke & Co make great use of this. They've got stickers on their items, encouraging people to support local, to order direct, letting the customer know that where they choose to order is going to have a big impact on your restaurant. So all that being said, we're going to go to questions in a second, but before that, the action points, I hope you've all been taking notes, but the action points are: 1, you're going to review all the steps and implement the ones that you haven't. That's going to increase your order volume just by doing those steps. You're going to receive a review after this webinar with some tips and a recap of everything. Number 2 is avail the double down SMS offer before the end of the month. So again, this offer is you send an SMS campaign through the dashboard to 1,000 people, and we'll match that in January to another 1,000. Number 3 is catch up on the other content that we've been creating. Lots of great knowledge coming out, and stay tuned for future webinars and future tips. We just launched a podcast called Taking Back Control. Benjamin Muflad, our CEO, spoke to Marcio Saboya, the founder of the Acai Spot. And if you remember, Acai Spot have had a great success with using SMS to drive orders. They speak about how Marcio was convinced of this, because people tend to feel a hesitance about SMS. They're not sure that it's really going to work, but it does work, as well as how to market on zero budget, how the Acai Spot got started, how they've grown their number of outlets 2 times in 2020, actually. So please go give that a listen. You can find that at youtube.com/chatfood.